I was like honestly the most scared of the background check because it's just like who knows what's gonna come up, and they had pulled up some like crazy like tweets from like 2018. I would never like smash a person's window or like cuss someone out or like spray paint their car. I got flown out to an island. I don't know if I'm allowed to say what island, but basically I had no phone, no connection to anything. I was like put in a room and then basically thrown into this thing.
And so you were one of the tempters or the couples?
I was a tempter. I went
on
to up. It was hard but fun and like sexy. And also I'm a lover girl. Like I catch feelings fast. And like that's just like in my nature. Are these couples actually going through this or is it like genuinely like, you know, is it real?
Scripted,
yeah, is it scripted? And it's like, no, it's real. Like these couples are like, actually I had to like watch them go through all of this stuff, and it's intense. Like it's a lot of the time I felt just kind of bad because I was like, oh, I hate to be you. I had to go to therapy after that relationship. I'm still in therapy with the same therapist. A week after I met him, I was like in love with him, right? Like again, I'm impulsive. It was a really cool experiment to see what couples were strong and like meant to be and like which ones weren't, you know what I mean? These 34-year-olds are at the club, like that's the point, you know? Like why are you not at home working with a dog or like kids or something?
Here's the problem.
You get what I'm saying?
I get
like,
what you're saying.
Lots and lots of drama, lots of temptation, lots of fun TV. I'm excited. Like,
I'm excited.
It's gonna be a really good show. It's like I mean, yeah, it was a lot of drama.
Welcome to Unattainable. Glad to have you with us. I'm your host, Zach Evans, here with my co-host, Mohammed Molay. Today, we got a special guest on the show. Why don't you go ahead, introduce yourself to the audience, name, what you do, and your star sign.
Hi, everyone. My name is Olivia Sloan. I just got off of a reality Netflix show. Other than that, I'm not doing much. And my star sign is a Leo.
Leo, you seem like a Leo.
Yeah,
you came in hot, came in strong. I'm like,
came in with a lot of
I'm
questions.
either gonna hate this girl or love this girl, one of the two.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like
I've hit or miss with Leos. Either they're my best friends or like my arch nemesis.
I feel like I get that a lot. Either you love or hate me, but it's like I could talk to a wall for an hour.
That's why you're on a reality show. You know?
Yeah, exactly. I guess.
Yeah, I know Mo had some reality show questions for you.
Yeah.
So what motivated you to join Temptation Island?
Okay, well, my situation was a little bit different. I was actually working for an agency at the time, and my boss was always, because I was like working under him every day, just us, and he was always telling me like I'm made for reality TV and da-da-da-da, and like we need to follow you around with a camera. And they had like Netflix had reached out to him asking if he had known of anybody who would be like a good fit for the show. And he kind of just like threw my name in there. And then ironically, they like reached out to me, and I went through like a ton of interviews, a whole process, a background check, a psych eval, yada, yada, yada. And yeah, then they chose me. So
and the psych eval is to make sure that you are crazy or that you aren't crazy.
That I'm not crazy, or that I like don't have any disabilities or anything like that.
Yeah. Because I feel like if I was doing a reality show, I would do it to make sure they are crazy. Like, oh, you're one of the crazy ones, sick. Like, let's get her on.
No, I was like honestly the most scared of the background check because it's just like who knows what's gonna come up, and they had pulled up some like crazy like tweets from like 2018.
Oh, they're like, we're going to get canceled if
when Twitter first came out, when I like had just joined Twitter, they came out with like all of my old tweets from like freshman year of high school. So it was like weird. I was like, what the heck?
Netflix pulled up your tweets from 2000. Oh, wow.
Yeah, like the people who were interviewing me, they sent me like a document of like, obviously it's confidential, but the stuff that they had pulled up, I was like, what the heck? Because I deleted Twitter like 4 years ago. So I'm like, okay, I didn't even know that I tweeted that when I was like 12.
That's crazy. So you had deleted your account.
Yeah,
and
I deleted my account.
They still managed to get the data and information somehow.
Yeah, and they would like zoom in and put like targets around everything, like red big circles around like the certain word or whatever. It was weird.
Like they came at you with like a whole PowerPoint presentation. Like, check this one out. Boom.
Yeah.
This one's bad. This one's bad.
Yeah,
So
basically.
they question you on like certain things that you had tweeted.
Yeah. No, they didn't question it, but it was basically like, here's what I found. And like, you're either going to pass or you're going to fail. But like this, I mean, I'm innocent. This stuff is like innocent. So I passed, obviously. But like, yeah, the psych eval was over Zoom, I believe, if I remember correctly. It was over Zoom. And then I had to take like a 500 question exam on it and like answer a bunch of questions, multiple choice questions, which I ended up not being crazy or like having a disability. I don't know.
Question 1. Have you ever smashed an ex's windshield?
Yeah, for real.
Like,
no, I haven't.
Okay, you're good.
No, I feel like I'm very pure. Like when it comes to relationships, I feel like I'm pure.
Interesting.
I would never like smash a person's window or like cuss someone out or like spray paint their car. You know what I mean?
Well, there are a bunch of trailers out there, and Temptation Island, I believe the first one came out in 2001.
Yeah.
So there's like 3 seasons of it, and then so this is sort of like a revamp of.
Yeah. So
of like
basically,
that, right?
T.I. used to be one of my favorite shows. Like I used to watch it all the time when I was younger, but in high school. And I believe it was like ABC or NBC or one of those networks, like the older ones, had owned it and shot it and produced it. So they went through 6 seasons on that. And then Netflix had bought it from them. And so we're season 1, but like technically we're like season 7. You know what I mean?
Sure. Season 1 Gen Z, essentially.
Yeah, basically. But like I haven't seen it. Like it comes out tomorrow. So I don't really know how they're going to like, you know, show it, what happened. I know what happened because I was on the show.
Sure.
But like I don't know what they're going to show, what they're not going to show, what it's going to look like. I don't know if it's going to look like the old episodes or if it's going to be like new or like revamped. I mean, I'm assuming it's going to be revamped, but like who the fuck knows? Like,
well, there are some trailers out there. So why don't we do this? So we're gonna go over whatever you could talk about, and then why don't we do another like episode once the show is fully out?
Yeah.
And then we'll do like a catch up.
Yeah.
You know, second podcast where you could come out and like talk.
Right.
But for the time being, what do you explain to people what the show is about? So like, you know, what the premises are.
Okay, you guys. The show is basically like, should I look at the camera?
Sure.
Or do I look at you guys?
Yeah, whatever.
The show is basically like 4 couples. So I got flown out to an island. I don't know if I'm allowed to say what island, but basically I had no phone, no connection to anything. I was like put in a room and then basically thrown into this thing. And it was 4 couples that went on to test their relationships. Like they had issues or like something that they were wanting to figure out within their relationship. And then there were 12 single girls and 12 single guys that got flown in. And oh my God, it's so funny too, because before we went on the show, we were in hotels and the guys were across from me in their, you know, hotels, and then us girls, but we like weren't allowed to see or meet each other. And so we were like, and we couldn't talk to each other either. So I would wake up and I knew who was on the show because it's like we all got our lunch at the same time. And then they would come out and eat on their balcony with their shirts off, and I'd come out and eat on my balcony, like kind of looking over and being like, hey, but we couldn't talk or anything. So I like got a glimpse of the guys before I even went on. And anyways, then we kind of like all came on at the same time. And the 12 single guys and the 12 single girls split up and then go into like each different villas, if that makes sense. So like the 12 girls will go into a villa with the 4 guys with girlfriends and vice versa. But we're in different villas, like an hour apart from each other. So we have no idea what's going on in the other villa. We just know what's going on in our villa. And then basically the guys like weekly, you know, will ask girls on dates or whoever they're vibing with. And basically we're here. I was a single. So we're there to like tempt their relationship. Basically like see if they have a better connection with us or if they can stay faithful or, you know, just test basically what they have going on with whoever they came with.
And so you were one of the tempters or the couples?
I was a tempter. I went on to fuck shit up.
Do you feel like that was a natural, like it fit naturally with your personality?
You know, like it's funny because it's like before the show, I was like, yeah, like definitely. During the show, I was like, I can't really talk about it because it's like, I don't know what they're going to show. So I guess you'd have to see. But like, it was hard, but fun and like sexy. So, you know, I don't know. And then after the show, looking back on it, I'm kind of like, I don't really know. I don't know. Because I think I'm like, when it comes to relationships, I'm very like my flirting style isn't so much like, you know, stick my butt out and whatever. It's more like having communication, like talking and like, you know, being hot.
I feel like your flirting style would be like bashing them, like in a bantery kind of way.
Yeah,
and then you guys just like make fun of each other back and forth, and then like fall in love.
Yeah,
somehow,
basically like
crash into love. You know?
So it's like when you're on an island with 11 other sexy, like hot ass girls, it's like, and you're all fighting for the same 4 guys, you know. It's kind of like, and also I'm a lover girl. Like I catch feelings fast, and like that's just like in my nature. And like, it's so funny. I was just talking to my mom about this today. She was like saying that I do that and that I'm also very impulsive. But because I am a lover girl, it's like when you have a bunch of different personalities on the show or like in, you know, the villa thrown into these things where we're all there for the first time, it's like, I don't really know how to explain how it happened, but it's just a very, very interesting place to be. Like, none of us knew what was going to happen. We were all just kind of there and like going about it at the same time. So yeah, I don't know. It was fun, but like that's the premise of the show basically. And the main part of the show is that each week there's like a bonfire where the guys will go down to the bonfire and then they will show Mark, the host, shows like a 5 to 10 second clip of what their partner is doing on the other side of the island.
Oh shit.
So they don't get to really know what's going on, but they see these like little clips of like what's going on. But like,
and do the partners know that they're getting this video feed?
Yeah.
Okay.
The partners know that like the bonfires are literally for the videos. So, and anyone who had seen the old Temptation Island knows that's like where it goes super south because it's like everything's kumbaya and then, you know, they go to the bonfire and everyone comes back crying because it's like my girlfriend's over here doing this and my boyfriend's over here doing that. And like, well, what the fuck is my relationship now? You know, like, are we even together? Is it this? Is it that? Like, it's
try to like fuck
intense.
with people's heads.
Yeah.
So essentially, let's say you're the boyfriend and you're being faithful, and then you just go over there and you watch your girlfriend like fucking around with someone. And you're like, fuck this. Like, I'm gonna go down too. And then at the end of the show, your
like,
relationship
what
is
would
over.
you even do? You know what I mean? It's intense.
That's crazy to me because okay, so like. I'm assuming these 4 couples are real couples. Like
they're real
not
couples.
Okay.
And a lot of people ask me about this. They're like, or like the people that know that I went on the show, right? Because we like just announced that we did it. And the one question is like, are these couples actually going through this shit? Or is it like genuinely like, you know, is it real?
Scripted,
yeah, is it scripted? And it's like, no, it's real. Like these couples are like, actually, I had to like watch them go through all of this stuff and it's intense. Like it's a lot of the time I felt just kind of bad because I was like, oh, I hate to be you. But like, I don't know, it is what it is, I guess.
Yeah. And so okay, so is there like winners in this, or is it just like at the end of it you either come out with a couple or like with a partner or you're not?
So basically it's like there's, you know, people get eliminated each week. And then at the end, the couples decide, boy and girl, right? Because there's single guys too, decide if they want to leave the island alone, leave with the person, you know, that they met there, or leave with the person that they came with. So yeah, that's kind of how it works. And then like, obviously I can't say because it hasn't came out yet, but.
So are there new couples coming? Like, are those 4 couples from the beginning to the end? Or
yeah, it's the same couples. Couples the whole way through.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
And then we were there for like a while. I don't know exactly how long, but also because like when people get eliminated, it's like the weeks kind of change. And I can't say when I got eliminated because
sure, of course, that defeats the whole purpose. Yeah. And so how do you think participating in this show impacted your personal relationship?
My personal relationship with who?
just in general with like your friends with
I'm me assuming
as a
person?
you went single, but like were you seeing anybody?
Yeah, no,
before?
I went single. And then, you know, I can't say how I left.
Of course.
You know, but I guess it impacted my relationships, and it definitely, okay, the hardest part about being there was the fact that I couldn't call like my mom and stuff like that. Like that's my rock. I literally just dropped her off at the airport right before this. And like when things kind of got tough, you know, I couldn't text anybody. I couldn't call anybody. I was just kind of there. And so it's like it makes you reevaluate the relationships that you had going on the outside world in ways that you wouldn't have like thought it would, if that makes sense. Like it had me thinking about like old friendships, new friendships. Like when you don't have communication to people, it kind of just makes you think. And I like halfway through I went and bought like a journal. So I was like journaling a lot and journaling about like my feelings and my friendships and whatever it was that I was like thinking about, because we filmed this a year ago. This was filmed back in May. So at the time, like, I guess you're still like kind of learning about yourself and everything, but all I wanted to do was call my mom. Like I would beg producers if I could, and they were like, no.
Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting.
Do you feel like, because in normal relationships, right, people do stuff all the time, whether it's cheating or even just, you know, a guy you're dating maybe is flirting with a girl or texting a girl or something like that, but there's no cameras around, you'll never know, right?
Yeah.
Does it make you lose trust a little bit now that you're seeing it? Where it's like, oh shit, this guy that like seemed like he was like this great guy and super nice, but all of a sudden like he's like doing this shit behind somebody's back.
I'm so glad that you brought that up, because I haven't seen it, right? It's like that is something that I have been thinking about, where I'm like, I wonder what I'm gonna see, right? Because I only know what happened from my point of view. But like I don't know what happened behind closed doors. I don't know what anyone was saying in their confessionals. Like I don't know what's going to happen when it comes out. Like, I have no idea. But I'm curious to see, like, what effect it may have. Like, for all I know, everything, like, could go exactly the way that I saw it out of my eyes. You know what I mean? But, like, we just don't know until it airs. Because it's, like, it's a whole lot of, like, what the fuck? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Was there any moments in the show where you questioned your participation?
My what? My participation?
Yeah. Where you thought to yourself, what the fuck am I doing here?
I can't say that one. You're going to have to watch and see that one.
Okay, sure. Sure, I figured. But one of the things I actually was wondering, okay, so now that you've been on like one side of it as a single member, if they ever offered you the role to go there as a couple, would you ever do that?
Love that question too, because I have thought about that. If I was in a relationship and I really like loved my person and I saw a future with them, realistically, I wouldn't bring them there. However, like these couples that were on the show, genuinely, truly, like we're going to figure their stuff out to like, and you'll see when it comes out, you know, they have specific things that they were working on. Like they have like actual things. Like each of them had a specific reason as to why they were there. Like if I had a specific reason with my partner that I actually wanted answers to, do I think like going on Temptation Island is like the answer to like finding that? Maybe not. But it was a really cool experiment to see what couples were strong and like meant to be and like which ones weren't. You know what I mean? So like, I guess to answer your question, it would be like, it depends. Depends.
The sort of just like going back, how old are you?
I'm 24.
24. Okay. So kind of going back before all this, what's your relationship history?
Relationship history before I like went on the show? Yeah.
Like how many people have you dated? How many people were you in serious relationships with?
So I had a first love in high school, and I dated him for about a year, and then I moved down to California. Like obviously I dated here and there, but officially like in a relationship with, I dated another guy after that, which is the whole reason I actually moved to California. I moved to San Diego. I moved in with him at the time, and lived with him for like 7-8 months. I can't remember exactly how long it was because it was a couple years ago. But then when we broke up, I moved to LA. So I moved from San Diego to LA, And it's funny, like I was thinking about this, like I kind of want to write a book on like my relationships because they're so all over the place. But like my first real relationship was definitely like a like love first everything kind of thing, you know. And my second one was, I think, a learning lesson. And then I haven't officially dated someone. Well, I have, but like I don't really know how to explain that relationship, and I like probably shouldn't talk about it either. But like the first two were like, the first one was like a deeper kind of like first everything, and then a learning lesson, and then.
So you said the second relationship was you a learning lesson. What lessons specifically did you?
I mean, it was like one of those relationships that was very deep, like in love, but also very, very, very toxic. And I think the thing, like the biggest learning lesson I got from that was, I mean, I moved in with him like a week after I met him. I was like in love with him, right? Mm-hmm. Like, again, I'm impulsive. So I moved in with him. I drove, and I was like going to college at the time. I was in AFI. I was like living in the Alpha Phi house. And then I switched to online campus. I like drove my car all the way to San Diego and moved in with him. And because we were living together, I think we just got so comfortable with each other that it was like co-living, very comfortable. Like anytime we got into an argument, we took it home with us. And it just like turned into a very toxic, reliant relationship. And it just wasn't anything in any way that I wanted. So it took me like literally having to move to LA to like get over that relationship. Cause we like got back together even when I moved to LA. Cause it was just that like push and pull. And
very codependent.
Yeah. And it was just like, we were just so in love with each other that it was just like, it was just very intense. Like the way that I could describe it as the whole thing was very intense. And like I had to go to therapy after that relationship. I'm still in therapy with the same therapist, not for him anymore, but like obviously she like got me through that. And like that relationship changed how I view relationships and who I am as a person. I think like it was that intense. It like really threw me for a loop.
Changed it in a good way or a bad way?
Changed in a way that like I don't know, because it's like I haven't felt the same in relationships since that relationship, basically. Mm-hmm. And I think back to like the things that had happened where I'm like, you know, is this the reason why I am the way that I am today? Is this like, you know, or did these things really like mess me up that much? Or is it just like me like not coherently getting over? So I don't know. It was just a lot. Like the whole thing was a lot. So overall, I'd say like maybe in like a good and bad way. You know what I mean? Like
Sure.
now I'm more aware of certain things, and I think I'm a lot more mature. But I also am like, you know, a little fucked up.
Well, it's interesting because you, like a lot of people go through these, and it sounds like this relationship was very challenging.
It
like
was
10 out of 10.
traumatizing.
It was very, you're in therapy for it, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people come out of that a little bit jaded, a little bit negative,
Mm-hmm.
a little bit man-hating, if that makes sense. But like, I don't read that energy off you at all.
No, I
like
love
you
people.
you seem like very positive. You seem very, and maybe like deep down you have like this other side to you. I don't know, but like it seems like you
it's
like really
doubling.
like figured out a way to like jujitsu it into a positive.
Yeah, so like it's so I try to be positive, right? Mm-hmm. And like obviously I think I'm a diva. Like I think I'm just a little diva. Like I have an attitude sometimes, obviously, but like when I love someone, I love them very, very hard, and I think I'm like very squishy, soft, like sunshine and rainbows. Try to be.
You remind me of no, annoying's not the right word.
Annoying.
No.
What?
It's like so my little sister when I was little, you playing video games with your friends and like
Yeah.
she'd come in and like bop you on the head with a pillow. Like you
Yeah.
seemed like you were that kid growing up, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Like I mean, I have a brother. My brother was my bestie. Mm-hmm. And like my family's very close together. My parents are still married, and they have for sure like shown me a healthy example, which I am very, very like thankful for, because I know that that's not the case for a lot of people. I got very blessed with like my parents, but they have shown me a very positive example of love and what like love is, and you know, like overpowering aspects that, and like hurdles, and like staying together through hard things, and like they're just so in love with each other that it's like I don't want to settle for anything, but I also am aware of what is, you know, real and like not real. And so I guess like my view on like relationships has changed from like then to now. But like in a way that I'm just like not tiptoeing, but I'm not gonna like waste my time, right? I'm very in a stage of my life where it's like I don't think I'm old by any means. I don't think I have anything figured out. I'm like not gonna waste my time with something if I don't think it's like applicable to my life, and also something that is like fulfilling and supportive and positive to me. You know what I mean?
And there's a very fine line between like being open and warm and like, you know what I mean? And but also if you're too open, that's when you get taken advantage of. That's when you get played or used or
right. And like,
so like it's really a tough line to cross, you know.
And honestly, especially in LA, and I'm sure a lot of girls can relate to me on this. It's like I'm from Spokane, Washington. Like I'm from Booneyville. I'm from like the country, you know what I mean? And like going from a small town like that, and then, you know, I went to Washington State University. Like I was a Coug, go Cougs. And like coming from being in a school at like Pullman, switching to online campus and driving down to San Diego, which obviously I've like visited San Diego before, but I've never like been. And then like going from I didn't even know, this is going to be so dumb, but I didn't even know that there were beaches in LA. I've never been to LA. I didn't know anything about LA. Obviously I knew what Hollywood was from movies and stuff, but I didn't know that like, I didn't even know Disneyland was here. Like, it's just dumb. But that's how small of a town I was like from, which obviously I think people from Spokane are probably like, dude, how do you not know that? But like, whatever. When I got down here, I like, wait, what was I talking about right before that?
How you view relationships and how it was, you know, you started off.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Innocent. And
I was going to say that moving down to LA, like the atmosphere here is so fast paced, right? And I feel like the guys out here are just a lot different than like guys from my hometown, right? Like their views and values are different. I mean, you're meeting people I never thought I would meet before. Like relationships are just different. Like it's hard to keep a relationship in LA. I think like San Diego, no. But like meeting a guy in LA and like, you know, actually having a healthy, substantial relationship for me personally has been tough.
Well, it's like playing the video game on hard mode. You know, there's like easy, medium, hard. Then there's like challenge, final boss. Like that's LA. It's like.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like it's a different environment and it's hard to explain to people that don't live here. But I think the girls that live here will get it and have some sort of an opinion on dating in LA because it's just different. And it's like, it's hard, it's challenging. I don't know. Because also it's like you have Anaheim and then you have San Diego, and like majority of my relationships that I've had flings here haven't even been in LA. They've been elsewhere. Like even like I had a relationship with a dude that I met in Cabo on spring break, like, and he lived in Indiana. But it's like here for some reason, it's like so hard to meet, like, not like any disrespect to you guys, I'm sure you're great. Like,
I used to be a raging fuckboy. Now I'm very shy and romantic.
I get that from
like,
you.
Back in the day,
you're like you definitely went to Poppy.
I've been around the block a few times, you know.
Catch you at Melrose Place.
But I've matured a little bit since then.
How old
I
are
would like
you?
to think 30, about to be 34.
Do you have a girlfriend?
No.
Do you want a girlfriend?
You know, if it's the right person, yes. But
and this is the issue, people. Right?
Explain.
If you're okay, here's the thing.
Yeah.
It's like you're 34. How old were you? 34.
Yeah.
You're 34. How old are you?
37.
37.
Well, 36. I don't know why I keep saying that.
It's like these. You know, I go to the club, I go to dinner, I go anywhere, and these guys are 34. And like, no, again, this is not to you, but I'm saying I'm saying like,
come at me. I'm
saying
the
like
debater
in
of the
general,
channel.
These 34-year-olds are at the club. Like that's the point, you know, like why are you not at home working with a dog or like kids or something?
Here's the problem.
You get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying, but here's the problem. Okay. So clubs, terrible way to meet people.
Yeah.
Right? You're going to meet
horrible.
like the scum of the earth. Tinder, terrible way to meet people. People say, oh, Hinge is the classy one. No, it's the same pool of losers on all the apps.
Blush. I do Blush's blush ads. Blush.
I've been to their parties. I haven't downloaded the app, to be honest with you.
You have to download the app to get into the parties, I think.
Well, I've downloaded, but I've never used it. Like, I downloaded it to like send the little
I'm getting like I'm getting
notification.
actually bullied from my Blush ads. They're like, oh my god, her voice sounds like that. I'm not joining the app. Blah, blah, blah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, you're like
It's
an ad
hilarious.
spokesperson.
Yeah, no,
I'm
I'm
Blush
like
is
that
the best.
bitch. Like,
Great
I'm the
app.
ad
I use
girl.
it all the time. Raya hasn't been relevant since 2005.
Raya is.
maybe during the
I was
Reagan
never interested
administration.
in joining Raya. It's like, if you're on Raya, great, do your thing, like enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
But I've never like looked at Raya and been like, I need to be on that.
Well, it used
You
to
know?
be like celebrities and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Now it's like any dude with like a 4-pack and
Mm-hmm.
like a fake Bitcoin company is like on Raya, you know.
I'm so dead. So true.
But back to my point. So I'm like, okay, that sucks. So I ask girls sometimes, like, where do you think I should meet girls then?
Yeah.
And they always say some bullshit answer like, the bookstore.
The bookstore.
I'm like, well,
At
I'm
the
gonna
gym,
like
the-
it's a movie. Like we both go for the book and our hands touch. Oh, you like Fitzgerald too? Oh my
No,
god! Like
the gym is the most classic one. Like, oh, I met her at the gym. Like,
Yeah,
nobody.
gym-
I've never met a guy at the gym ever, and I go to the gym every day. Pilates.
and gym is tough because like a lot of girls, if you go talk to them at the gym, they're like, what the fuck? Another
Yeah.
guy I'm trying to fucking work out. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So do you want to
yes.
be that guy that's like
No.
macking at on the gym girls?
Exactly.
You know?
I feel like the easiest way, and this is like the thing that goes along with it's hard dating in LA. It's like, I feel like the only way that people meet each other is via Instagram DM, right? Like, I feel like
Yeah,
that's how I
yeah.
meet everybody that I've like ever talked to.
I feel like maybe I should just set up a tripwire in front of the house. Just
Yeah.
wait for somebody to fall. Oh, hey, let me help you out. Boom.
Yeah,
Date.
for real.
It's like the only way I'm going to be able to
plotting
do
and
it.
planning your next, like, how am I going to meet a girlfriend? But this brings me back to like, you're 34. So like,
Yeah.
you don't have a girlfriend because you don't want one, right?
I mean, ish. Like it's like, okay.
Or you're
Being
waiting for the right
34
person.
in LA,
like-
if you have money, for a guy is like the dream. Like when I was fucking
Yeah.
22 and broke, and like
Right.
no girls even like looked at me, like.
But
So I'm
every
like,
single
finally,
guy
you know what I
says
mean?
that.
But it is that's how it is, kind of. You
That's
know?
how it is, but that's why I'm saying it's so hard to date in LA because every guy that I've talked to is like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
want to have a lot of money and then I want to meet a girl.
It's not
and
the
then-
girl's fault or the guy's fault. It's literally just like the biological and
Yeah.
like sociological like situation we're in. Like when you were
However-
like 18 and you were hot shit and you actually liked
I
people
was
hitting
not
on
shit
you.
when I was 18.
You were fat back in the day, or what?
I was fat in college,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. You got the glow up.
my central
Those are the
baddies
best
know.
people because then you develop the personality. You know?
Yeah, true.
The obvious point that you're missing is this. Any successful person
Mm-hmm.
that didn't come from money and has made their own money and has made their own success worked hard during their 20s.
Yeah.
So once you do have some sort of an accomplishment and success
Mm-hmm.
after your 20s, which then falls into your 30s,
Right.
then you're all of a sudden thinking, especially being in LA because of the access, because of the
Right.
environment, and because of how much there's going on everywhere.
Yeah.
You all of a sudden think to yourself, okay, now that I've had this success and now that I've had have this money and access and friends and all these things that
Right.
I wanted, should I settle down or should I live my life because I didn't get to live my life in my 20s?
Right. And I totally get that point of view and I see the aspect, right? But it's like, that's where my point of like, it's hard to date in LA comes from because it's like, I feel like a lot of guys are on that trajectory, right? But then it's like, you go back to Spokane or Indiana, like I just mentioned, and like guys aren't on that trajectory. Like a lot of my friends from high school are pregnant and married. You know what I mean?
Sure, of course.
Yeah.
It's
Same with
crazy.
Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Wisconsin, whoever you're dating, when you
Wisconsin,
graduate
yeah.
either high school or college, boom, you just get married. It's
Exactly.
just the next thing you
But
do.
it's like, I'm on the same wave right now. It's like, I'm kind of feeling like content and like enjoying my 20s. You know what I mean? So whether that's with a person or without a person, I'm not like gonna, make any decisions based off of my life and where I'm at. But I do think like just the scene here itself is different. If that makes sense.
Okay, so let's talk about pre-show, right? Because this is so everything we're going to talk about is pre-show, which
Yeah, everything
means
is
that
pre-show.
which means that what I want to know is like your experiences prior to the show, so then that way we're not really like talking about anything afterwards.
Yeah.
So whenever you were meeting a guy in LA, you're running into this issue of they don't want to settle down, or were you running into the issue of meeting somebody that also, like yourself, didn't want to settle down?
Oh my gosh, that's such a good question. I think like I've never been opposed to settling down, but I think in the past when it had gotten to that point and it had like been like, okay, now it's like we need to settle down, I think I've shied away from that thought, because it's like a relationship takes two people. It's very like give and take, right? Mm-hmm. And a lot of the time I wasn't like, I mean, I'm not ready to give up some of the things that I've been doing yet because I'm enjoying my life. Unless that person that I was talking to was on the same, like the same things as me, was like completely on the same path as me and was uplifting and supportive in those ways and lifestyle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? But like, if not, I feel like, yeah, it like, I've definitely turned, you know, not wanted anything in the past.
Mm-hmm. So then wouldn't you argue that you were the problem and not them?
I mean, I don't know, like maybe I'm the problem. Like I feel like I'm in therapy. Maybe am I the problem? Like maybe like I think it like in some aspects, yeah, I probably was the problem. But in other aspects, maybe not. Like
no, but I understand completely what you're saying, because that's how I feel. Is like
right.
okay, like
okay, I can't shit on you,
I could have like settled down countless times with
right.
somebody that was like pretty good.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like pretty good.
Yeah.
And like that's I think most people who get married. Like I said in Wisconsin,
right.
Oh, I'm dating you after college. We click. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't hate you. You know, like you don't make me like angry all the time. So like you just get married and then like happy wife, happy life, and then you go to 60, fucking change your diapers and like
facts.
Yeah.
Touche.
Like, fuck, dude. Like, dude, I don't know. Like that life was kind of scary.
Yeah, I agree.
What if you have an ugly baby? It's like, oh,
this is a great episode because we got both the female and the male version of commitment issues.
Yeah.
Commitment concerns.
Commitment concerns. I mean, issues, commitment issues are like. Commitment issues, I feel like, arise after you've committed. Commitment concerns are like, you know, what you're thinking before the like feeling in your stomach of like, fuck, do I commit? You know what I mean? Yeah. And like that's like the gray area where I think people sit in for a long time before the commitment, you know, actually comes. And like the gray area is not a fun place to be, whether it's me making that decision or the person that I'm with. Like, in my opinion, I think the longer that you stay in the gray area, the like more difficult it's going to be to like have a, you know, unless you're comfortable there and you're on, you know, on those terms and you've talked about it, collectively agreed, like, yeah, I want to be in this, these are my boundaries, don't cross this line. We can stay here until this time, or like whenever we're ready, then it's like fine, whatever. But like I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. You just described outside of the gray area.
Yeah.
And what you described that is outside of the gray area happens exactly.
Yeah.
It happens with communication.
Yeah.
And a lot of people avoid communication.
Right.
And it's most of the time as a result of the fear of how the other person is going to respond. If they do communicate. Yeah. If they open themselves up.
Totally.
The fear of getting rejected, getting shut down, so on and so forth.
Yeah. And I like definitely agree with that. I mean, I also think like depending on how stable you are with the person that you're talking to, like trust wise, you know, like that is also a big indicator on if it's going to be a successful like ting, you know, because it's like if the person that you're talking to, you know, did something that rubbed you the wrong way, said something that rubbed you the wrong way. There was an instance that happened where it like, you know, made you feel a certain type of way, gave you some sort of anxiety. I just feel like being able to, you know, actually use your words and open up about your concerns and stuff. It's like, I mean, at least for me, I get a lot more shelled when I'm feeling a lot more anxious if I want it to work out with that person and something's bothering me. Like I kind of close down. Mm-hmm. I can't really talk about it.
Because you want them to like you.
Because I want them to like me. And it's like if I'm already feeling this kind of way about this person and they're acting this way towards me and then I bring up my concerns, like it's game over. He's not going to want to talk to me anymore. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I don't know.
And sometimes it is, this was just never going to work out because you have misaligned values, but then neither of you is like sharing that value.
Yeah.
So then it wouldn't have worked out anyway. But it's
Yeah.
just keeping it going along because you put the Band-Aid over and they can't see it yet.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. So I guess it's like there's different ways to look at, you know, these types of relationships in the gray area and commitment. Like, it's all perspective. I think of like who you are as a person too as a big indicator, and like what you've gone through. Because like I know my learning lessons have carried on to my relationships after that one. So yeah, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So the relationship that you had with the San Diego boy, we'll call him San Diego boy.
Hey, San Diego boy.
He are you guys still friends, or you don't talk anymore?
No.
Okay.
We don't talk anymore.
And
I see him here and there, like every once in a while.
how long was that relationship?
So I lived with him for 7-8 months. I honestly, it was two years ago. I was 21 into 22. And I'm 24 now. So I maybe even 3, like it was a while ago. And it was, we did the, you know, the 7 months living together, 8 months. And then when I moved down to LA, we tried again, for a while. I think it was like, that was like another like 4 or 5 months, maybe 6. And cause like, again, it was so toxic. It was so off and on. It was like, yeah, the trajectory was like the actual timeline of things is so blurry to me because it's like, I'm just like, I was so wrapped up in everything that like, I can't even give like an actual answer, but overall it was about like a year, like maybe a little over a year.
Let's call it a year and a half.
Yeah.
On and off.
Yeah, sure.
So from 21 to 23, let's say, in between that timeline.
Yeah.
What made it so? Because you've been saying this multiple times. What made it so toxic? Like specifically,
like I don't want to point the finger and be like it was him, because it's like, you know, it takes 2 people to make a relationship.
Sure.
However, just like I think our communication styles didn't match up. I think like looking back on it, like we were so close to each other, like too close, too fast, that like when problems did come up, the way that we handled them, it's like he took a more like aggressive like route of like addressing things and like, you know, get mad and whatever. I would kind of just cry and then we would argue, and like the way that we handled things was just different. And I think like our personalities, even though like he's a Scorpio, I'm a Leo, and like if anyone knows anything about Scorpio men, like they're just, you know, hard to handle. And like we were truly best friends. Like I didn't know anybody else when I was living in San Diego. I only knew him, right? Because I moved across I moved for him. And I think like the longer that we stayed together and the more that problems came up, the heavier there was like weight on our relationship, and the harder it was to like move past certain things. And then it just got like too tied up. Like the spider web got too big. And then it was like, you know, on top of the way that we both handled things and our different communication styles. And like, you know, I think I have an anxious attachment style when it comes to relationships. Like all of that combined, it just was like a lot, and it just didn't work out. It was too much, you know? And yeah, he was like, I don't want to like talk bad, but he just wasn't nice to me. It was not a good relationship. And it was hard. It was traumatizing.
What did your family think about it?
He wasn't even allowed. He didn't meet any of my friends. He wasn't allowed over. He didn't meet my family.
What do you mean he wasn't allowed over?
Like my friends could hear and see the things that he was saying to me, and they didn't let him come over. They were like, we don't want to meet him. No one supported our relationship, because it's like when I moved from San Diego to LA, you know, and we got back together, like, again, he was not nice to me at all. Like my friends could like see the things that he was saying, and it was very like emotionally abusive, I would say. Like it was a lot, and it was just very like mean stuff. And so when they saw that, they were like, obviously he's not going to come over. Like I don't want to meet him. And my mom hated him a lot. And you know,
how old was he when you met him?
He was a year younger than me.
You're younger than
you. So he wasn't even 20, or I think he had just turned 21. Sorry, I went to say he wasn't even 21. I think he had just turned 21, and then I was almost 22 when I had met him.
So looking back, do you remember his abusive nature starting right off the bat, or did it take a while until you started to notice those signs?
I think it was pretty early on, like because we met with the story of how we met is actually crazy. He like commented on my TikTok, and I clicked on his profile, and again, this was back when I was in college. I didn't have any followers or anything like that. I was just kind of like there.
Right.
And he commented on my TikTok, and he was like, check DMs or something. And I clicked on his profile. He had 0 followers, 0 posts, or like just a profile picture, which like maybe this was bad on my part, but like I never responded back to comments like at that age. I just was kind of like casually using TikTok, and I didn't even think twice. And I was just like, haha, like I forget what I said. I said something. And then I looked, and I saw his Instagram, and I was like, wait, he's actually kind of cute. Like he's very my type. And so we started like texting back and forth, and he was like, have you ever been to Coachella? And I was like, no, I haven't been to Coachella. I've always wanted to go, right? I'm from Spokane, Washington. Can't go to Coachella. And then, ironically, my grandparents and like some of my family lives in the desert. Ironically, my whole family had a trip booked at the same weekend as Coachella that year. And so he came and picked me up from my grandma's house and took me to Coachella. I'd never met him before in my life. We like talked on the phone and stuff. And I had the best weekend ever. Like I like fell in love with him over Coachella. And then I was like, oh my God, I need to live with him. Like I'm obsessed.
Yeah, Molly's a powerful drug.
No, do not do drugs. I did not do drugs. But yeah, I was in love with him for sure.
Yeah.
Enough to move like over to San Diego and live with him. I was young though too, and like whatever.
Yeah.
Like I feel like my whole life I call it PBEB, like play by ear babe. I just PBEB.
There's 2 types of people in the world, right? There's people that play it very safe.
Yeah.
And they have great content lives and like not a lot of stress and everything like that. Mm-hmm. And then there's people who just like the wild.
Oh no,
cards.
I'm a yes girl. Like
and
I
it's
like
yeah.
I
some
like
people
things.
think they have bad lives because like there's a lot of lows, but then also like you also get the big highs too. That some of these little other guys are just like never get that experience. And like what is life if you're never gonna just fucking
what's the fun in life
live,
if you're not like gonna say yes to some things and like. I love trying new things. I love meeting new people. I'm very outgoing, very social. Love making new friends. Mm-hmm. Like if there's an opportunity for me to like try something new, I mean, I'm down. And like it's led me to amazing friendships. It's led me to amazing memories. Like, and I still feel like I have so much more. Mm-hmm. So my advice to anybody watching is to just like say yes. You know? Yeah.
You said something with regards to blush and how people are like coming after you. And so I think with that in mind, and also with the combination of show coming out, how are you going to deal with public perception and potential criticism?
I'm scared. I'm really scared. I mean, I don't even like love looking at myself in photos. I'm trying to get used to that. I'm trying to like do more shoots and stuff like that. And like myself, and it's just gonna be weird seeing myself and knowing that like a ton of people are looking at the same thing without any editing, it's just raw footage,
right?
And like the blush ads, I'm getting a lot of comments on my voice. I think I just have like an LA Valley girl voice, like
you
unintentionally.
You do a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like,
but it's like that's your voice. What do you want
my voice,
to do?
and like, what am I gonna do about it? Like, and so I feel like whatever people say, whatever, like I'm confident and like I'm happy with who I am. So I'm just gonna have to like block out the haters. You know what I mean? I laugh at some of the comments on the blush thing because I'm like, okay, Billy 1 2 3, like I get it. I'm annoying. Pic. Like bye.
Yeah. No, it's whenever I think about like, do people really care?
Yeah.
I just think like there was a guy who cheated on his pregnant wife with a porn star and got caught and then got elected president of the United States. I'm like, nobody cares. Like whenever people were like, oh, should I post this? Are people gonna? I'm like, nobody cares. Nobody actually cares. You know what I mean? People just like pretend to care.
Wait, I'm dead. That's funny. Yeah, I agree.
It's the truth.
People do pretend to care. And like, anyone's going to say whatever they're going to say. And I just feel like as long as it's like nothing that really hits me hard, I'm going to be completely fine. Like, I'm sure people are going to say stuff about my lips and my Botox and like whatever. I mean, it is what it is. Like, hey,
the jealousy is real. The haters are going to hate, you know?
Or like people are going to be uplifting and supportive. And like, I love the support and like, that's what I'm hoping for. But I have no idea. So like, if it does end up being a lot of negativity back towards me, I guess I'm just going to have to like roll with the punches and like PBB, play by ear. See how I'm going to handle it.
That's a new one. What was the most, and I don't know, I might have to re-ask you this question later on if you can't answer it now, but what was the most challenging aspect of being on the show?
The most, this is like a no-brainer for me, was like not having any connection out here. Like truly, I am a people person, and obviously I got really close with the girls and everyone else, the rest of the cast that was there. But like not having any sort of outlet to like get a perspective on my point of view on what's going on, or like get advice, or just like hear someone that I was familiar with, was hard. You know what I mean? Because it's like you're going through an emotional roller coaster out there. And when you're emotional, like who do you turn to? And like imagine not being able to turn to any of those people and having to figure everything out on your own, your feelings, what to do next, like, you know, how to handle certain situations. Like that was for sure the hardest part, like not having any type of communication with anyone that was in my circle. You know what I mean?
Understandable. Yeah, for sure. You don't
and
know who
like,
you can trust. I'm sure
if you asked each one of us girls that question, we would probably all have a different answer,
right? Just
depending on like, you know, each of our experiences. But like personally for me, it was that. Like, and I think everyone who was on the show like could vouch for me for that. Yeah. Every day I'm like, can I call my mom?
How much drama should we expect from this new season of Temptation Island?
Lots and lots of drama, lots of temptation, lots of fun TV. I'm excited. Like, I'm excited. It's gonna be a really good show. It's it was a lot of drama.
Is it possible for you to talk about any of the dramatic, like any sort of, I know there are like trailers out there.
Trailers are out there.
Yeah.
In the trailers, they kind of just showed our reveal. I mean, they showed, you know, obviously the boys and like the girls tempting the boys and like vice versa. Like you're watching couples in real life being tempted by like us, and it's like, you know, seeing the things that they're going through and that they're trying to work on, and then like how they handle it with temptation. So it's honestly the concept of the show to me is very interesting. Like I think it's amazing. I think it's a great show concept, and I think like when you guys do watch, you'll kind of see how everything unfolds. And it's funny too. It's like I went to Pilates and I walked in and my instructor was like, oh, I recognize you, because she actually had worked on like post-show Netflix. And she watched the whole thing through, and she said her husband was like throwing the remote at the TV because he was like so mad at the guys.
That's funny.
Yeah.
What advice would you give somebody considering joining a reality show?
And my advice, I mean, like I said, I'm a yes girl. Do it. Like, I feel like it's something, it was fun and it was new. And like, I'm excited. Like, I made a ton of new friends there. Like, I mean, I was, you know, at the time, I think I was 23. I was 23. And because it's so long ago, it's like hard for me to even remember. It was a year ago. But like, I would never say no to turning down something new, because like, it's just another opportunity of a new experience. Right. And like, I don't know, like I said, I'm a yes girl. So like, if somebody was interviewing, I mean, why the heck not? You know, you don't know what could happen from it. You could meet the love of your life. You could make a best friend. Like, you never know. So
are there reality stars that have been completely destroyed as a result of being on a reality show?
I think yes, but I really think like if you wanted to, like let's say you got destroyed somehow on this show, everybody hates you, right?
Yeah, there's that guy in The Bachelors. Was he in Bachelors or Bachelorette?
Oh, The Bachelor? Are you talking about oh my God, not Chase, but Chad? You're talking about
is that what his name is?
Yeah, the one
Chad
on the
was
Aaron
like,
Rodgers season.
Fuck you, fuck you, Chris Harrison. Like,
that guy. Yeah,
that guy was.
But even that, like, I feel like you could just like lay out of the public eye for like a year, and people will forget about it if you wanted to. Like, if you keep bumping yourself on Instagram, okay, you can keep it rolling.
Yeah.
But I feel like people will forget.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, I hope that's not the case. Who knows?
I think people like you, actually. I think you're very endearing. I think you're very endearing.
Thank you. That's really nice.
Do you have a plan to capitalize on this?
A plan for what?
To capitalize on the reality
What
show.
does that mean?
What does capitalize mean?
Yeah, what does that mean?
Like take advantage of the opportunity of the being in the entertainment industry.
Oh, being in the okay. So I've
and like
worked,
growing your social media or whatever.
Yeah, no, that was never a thought of mine. It was basically just like I can't talk about like my sole reason as to why I went on the show, but like I talk about it on the show. So I think you'll see when it comes out.
Sure.
At the time I was working for my agency. Like I said, that's how I kind of got like recruited on there. So like I was already pretty content and like happy with what I was doing. And like I said, I was just like, I'm a yes girl. So when I got presented the opportunity, I was just taking it to see like what if. And again, you'll see on the show, like if they even air it, and if not, we can talk about it after.
Sure.
Because like I don't exactly know what they're gonna air, but I know it was in a few of my like important conversations. The sole reason why I did take the show. I mean, obviously, I think it's a thought for everyone who is going on a major platform like Netflix. Like, I think it'd be a lie to be like, none of us have thought about like potential opportunities.
Sure.
Right. But like at the end of the day, like I said, I think each of us went on for a specific reason. And if you asked any one of us, like, especially the couples, they went on to either save or like break up their relationship too. So, I mean, that's kind of like an open-ended question. But at the end of the day, it's like, I'm not opposed to anything and I'm not saying no to anything. And I'm just like still, trying to navigate being 24 and like going through my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's 100%. A lot, but I'm excited.
What would you consider? So like after having been on the show, right? And this is a two-part question. So the first part is, what do you consider cheating?
Yeah.
And second part of it is that view change after being on the show.
Okay. My perception of cheating is if it's like, and I think people will disagree with me on this, but like to me, like liking a girl's Instagram post and commenting and like hanging out with a girlfriend of mine, I don't think any of that is cheating. I think that's pretty platonic. For me, cheating is like meeting up with someone physically, like doing something with someone, having an emotional connection with somebody else, and like hiding it, like anything like that to me is cheating. But like whoever I can't say that. You have to cut that out. But anyways, that to me is cheating. And yeah. And then what was your next question after that?
Has your perception changed since you've been on the show?
My perception changed since I've been on the show? No.
Okay, so you've always
cheating
had
is
this
cheating.
perspective.
Yeah, cheating is cheating, in my opinion. It's a very firm line, and you shouldn't cross that line.
Well, you said cheating is cheating, but what you said was emotional connection would be cheating.
Yeah.
Which means it's not just a physical act.
Oh, okay. Now you're having me question, because it's like, okay, I think like there's different types of cheating, right? There's like emotionally cheating on someone. There's physically cheating on someone.
Mm-hmm.
And I think depending on who you are, those can go hand in hand together, or they can be looked at, as the same, or they could be a separate thing in itself. Like some people think physically cheating is the only type of cheating. Some people, see both or whatever.
Okay, what's physically cheating?
Having sex, making out, like honestly anything, right? Like if my man is touching another girl in an inappropriate way, that's cheating, right? Like,
so if your man is touching the woman's like face, for example.
Okay,
is that cheating?
Okay, no, like
okay. So not
depends,
any
like,
touching.
Is he touching her face to like lean in for a kiss?
To
or
flirt.
Is he booping her on the nose? Like
it's just like touching to flirt.
To flirt?
Yeah.
Like, no, that's not cheating, but that's just like, why the fuck are you touching her face? Like, don't touch her face.
To flirt, to get some like,
don't
reaction.
flirt. I guess cheating is like, yeah.
But is flirting cheating?
I think anything like making out, having sex, like that is cheating.
Okay, so that's the line.
That's the line.
Okay, got it.
But like, don't touch another girl's face in front of me or behind my back or, text someone. Like,
So don't do the touching, but if you did, I'm not going to consider it cheating.
that.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
It's just like bad. It's not cheating.
No.
It's just like, don't do it.
yeah,
Okay.
like that. If it's going to hurt my feelings, like, don't do it.
Okay. And then emotional cheating, what is that?
Emotionally cheating is, in my opinion, when you're, let's say like this is a very, very, this is an example. This has never happened to me, okay? This is just something that came into my head. Like I've seen a lot of movies, something like that. You have a wife at home, or for me, a husband. You go to the office, right? There's a coworker that you like, that you enjoy spending time with, like Pam and Jim at the office. Think about that. And then it's like, she's married to Roy. And then it's like, Pam and Jim kind of start like getting close with each other, and there's something there and you know it, but you're not like taking action on it. And then, you start texting, and then you're like flirting over text, and then you're making plans, and you're kind of like hanging out, and then you're like, oh no, babe, it's just like a coworker. Chill. Why are you tripping? But then in reality, it's like, and I feel like girls too, or guys even, have a sixth sense of to like when this is even happening.
Sure.
I do. I know that. But like, to me, when it gets to like that level of like, if I look through your messages, and you rip my phone out of my hands, like, okay, you're obviously emotionally cheating on me if you haven't already physically cheated on me. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah,
Do you guys agree with that? Or like, is that just my...
I mean, I think as long as there's two distinctions for it, where there's cheating and then there's emotional cheating, which is like a different category.
I feel like you don't agree with me. You're giving me like a face.
No, it's not that I agree or disagree. I think everybody has their own line of what they consider hurtful to them, and what they consider cheating and what they don't consider cheating. And I
agree.
And I think it doesn't really matter what I personally think about it. I think that's a communication that most people should have that they don't have.
I think like physically hooking up with someone, that's like cheating. That's crossing the line. That's like he cheated.
Well, of course. Yeah. I mean, if you do end up making out with someone, or, to have sex with someone, and you're not supposed to be having that, then yes, that would be.
Yeah, but what
that
if they
would be
were a
cheating.
condom?
If they were condom, that's do not date this man. You are a walking red flag dressed in black. You're terror. You're scaring
Okay, if you
me.
wash your hands with plastic gloves on.
What's your sign?
Is
You asked
that
me my
washing
sign.
your-
What is your sign?
I'm the best one.
Are you Scorpio?
No, Pisces.
Okay, cute. I like Pisces.
We're
Water
the best,
sign.
yeah. Smart.
Wait, I
funny,
shouldn't be
attractive,
fist bumping
smart.
you. I don't agree with you.
Yeah, I'm straight white male and Pisces, so like my privilege is.
Watch out for
fucking
him
up
at Poppy
here. No, not
on Wednesdays.
I'm a recovering fuckboy. No, I'm very.
Okay.
I'm very shine
So
romantic
you're like
now.
reading the book, and okay, I got
Yeah,
it.
but I was a
Making up for your
professional.
mistakes.
I was a professional fuckboy back.
You
in the
can't
day.
say that like proudly. You're
What?
like saying that like, oh yeah, I was a professional fuckboy.
Well, I don't want to be like the little amateur ones nowadays that with the little Temu earrings that they got,
The
know,
Temu
off
earrings
of
is
TikTok Shop.
crazy.
Yeah.
He's been called a sociopath in our comment section. So
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
You're
that's
not-
fake news. That's fake news. CNN. Don't believe anything you hear in the
The
comments.
Temu is the guys texting us like, hey, want to come to Miami?
Yeah.
Like,
The dudes with no headboard on their bed. Their bed touches two walls
that's
like
like
a poor
way
person.
too specific. I never would have said that or guessed that. Like, okay.
And then you go and it's just smashed up into the corner.
This
Like,
is so
Has
specific.
no idea what a nightstand is. Just no fucking clue.
It's got like a vape from a week ago and like
Yeah.
this thing of melatonin.
3-in-1 shampoo in his
Sleeping
shower.
pills, yeah.
He puts that shit in his dishwasher. You know?
Okay. We're totally off track. That
All
was
right,
funny.
yeah. I mean, honestly, I feel bad for girls nowadays because like we have
That's
like
what I'm saying.
It's like
the
you have guys like me who are like 34 and like I got it
guys
now.
like you.
Or you
need
have
to be
like
humbled.
probably.
Guys
But
like you, what in that category?
well, I'm saying in the fact of not wanting to settle
Because
down.
you knew so specifically what these other guys' bedrooms looks like.
I've heard
and now
stories.
you're like, be like guys like me.
Okay, I have a lot of female friends, and you know, girls they always like snoop around in guys' bathrooms, like they're like like Velma from Scooby Doo trying to like
Okay,
find
yeah.
the clues, you know. So
Sure.
they tell me things about like their icks, and then they come on the podcast. Oh, this guy, here's my red flag on this guy. You know what I mean? This guy takes his shirtless selfies at LA Fitness.
I fear
like
we should go and get a drink, like
definitely.
A vodka Red Bull
for
is
sure.
calling our name. Maybe
For
like
sure.
an espresso martini. That's the vibe that I'm getting. I'd love to see what your bedroom looked like.
Right now it looks great. You can see it. It's right over there. You can see it right now. You can see exactly how it looks. Yeah. 2 nightstands.
Yeah, 2 nightstands.
You know, like an
no
adult.
no headboard.
Big headboard, giant head, the biggest headboard you've ever seen.
Oh my God, I'm actually done.
1-in-1 shampoo.
Yeah.
You know, you only
Okay,
use
I'm
it
done
for shampoo.
shitting on you.
It's all good.
I'll see you at Poppy.
I'll see you at Poppy. Yeah, we'll both pretend like we don't go to these clubs, and then we'll see
I'll be
each
like,
other
wait,
there.
have you guys heard of this guy?
We'll see each other from across the room and kind of like acknowledge each other's presence, like look down.
Yeah, for real. Wait, that's funny. That's funny. I agree.
He's a funny man.
Yeah.
What's your biggest red flag?
My biggest red flag in a guy or mine, like me? Whatever.
You're gonna cover both.
Okay. What is my biggest red flag? I think my biggest red flag is that I'm going to say I don't have a red flag. And I think my biggest red flag for a guy, ooh, this is a good question actually, because I've given this some thought. Like usually if you are, okay, wait, I need to think about this. I've had bad experiences with guys who make a lot of money, and I don't want to say that that's a red flag, but like for some reason those men with their receding hairlines and that, you know, have a solid income have fucked me over hardcore. Like get a toupee or something. But
Just go to Turkey, you know, first class ticket.
like I feel like that's a physical, for real. I feel like that's a physical, like what is a red flag?
Are you talking about guys with money or guys who pretend they have money?
I mean both. Like no, honestly, I take that back. Guys with true money, and I've only talked to 2. Let me rephrase that. Both of them ended up being horrible people for me. Horrible, like traumatizing. And one of them was my ex that we were talking about earlier. So, like, I don't want to say that. I don't want to say that that's a red flag, because it's like I feel, you know, I don't want to shit on successful men for like living their lifestyle and being successful and like touche. But like I just think maybe it's the way that they like a lot, like my ex would hold it over my head a lot, and that was something very early on that, you know, happened where I was like kind of like, ooh, I don't know, I don't like how I feel about this. You know what I mean?
So you're kind of the opposite of most girls.
I don't know.
So you get turned on when like a guy takes you on a trip and you see the tickets.
My
like
love language is quality time. I love
Spirit Airlines 77F.
Yeah,
You're like, oh,
I like quality time. I love making memories. I love quality time. It's my favorite thing ever. Like if we could go, and this is I think coming from a small town, like my mom and I went and got boxed wine and went to the shittiest AMC down the street last night, and we had the best time. We saw the monkey, by the way, and it was fire. It was funny and scary. But like, because I think I grew up in Spokane, it's like, you know, I enjoyed like, you know, I have a lake house, but like a little cabin lake house. And it's like, I enjoy having bonfires and like drinking beer, like riding motorcycles and like going to a dive bar. Like that's kind of my thing. Not my thing, but it's like I enjoy those things. So it's like, you know, stepping into a world like LA and coming from there, and then having, you know, dating someone who came from a very wealthy family and having, you know, things kind of handed to me was new. And like, I didn't know it was a red flag at the time. I kind of was just living and rolling with the punches, but it started turning into like, you know, holding, you know, things over my head that were superficial that I didn't even care about, where I was kind of like, I don't care about that. I care about this. I care about the way that you're handling things. I care about the way that you treat me. Like, I care about the fact that you're like not going to come and spend time with me and you're going to do this instead for this reason. Like, so, and then the guy that I had talked to right after that, literally like when we broke up officially, I got into another year-long relationship, but it turned into dating for like 2 days, and he cheated on me, obviously, because it just like wasn't the thing. And he also was very successful. And like, again, I applaud the men who are successful, like get your bag. But it was like, I don't know. He kind of had the same mindset as you, is like, you know, he was very focused on his career and like making more money than he already had and like treated me like shit because of it. You know? So I think my red flag is like, it's not a red flag if you have money. I think it's just like something that I have trauma with.
It's like typically the guys who have money typically fit a certain personality type.
Like they're just not, I mean, from my experience, the two guys that I talked to that, you know, were successful were the meanest to me. You know, I haven't talked to a lot of people, but like the ones that I have, like weren't nice to me, you know. And then my greatest relationships were guys that like were from my small town or that I met from another small town or like you know, worked a 9 to 5. So it's like, and I was like obsessed with these guys. So like you know what I mean? It's just like, I don't know, I guess it's all perspective. But like I am blind. I've noticed, and this is something that I'm working on, is like I'm very blind to red flags. I'm starting to try and like read them earlier on, but like I said, when I love hard, and because I am that way, it's like when I like someone, I kind of just throw everything out the window, right? Because I'm like, I like this person, I don't care about anything else, and like because I'm that way, it's like it almost makes it hard to really recognize things until after it's happened.
What made you feel obsessed with these guys?
Which ones?
The ones you were obsessed with.
The ones that I was obsessed with. Okay, so I think like if you look at all of my exes, they all look completely different. Like my first ex was Asian. My second one was fully Hispanic. My, you know, relationships that I had following that second one, my teens, looked completely different. 5'7", 6'4", like, you know. And I think I tend to go for the guys that I connect with the most on like an emotional level. So like I think I'm just attracted to like personality. Like I'm attracted to guys that like I can go out with and have the best time with, and we can leave and do our own thing and sit on a curb for 2 hours, and like I'm like, you know, I don't know. And like I think the reason that I like latched on so quickly to these guys is because like I would have that connection really quick on, and then I'd be like, oh yeah, this is it. And then I would ignore all the red flags and jump super quick into it. And then, you know, we'd talk for a month, 2 months, 3 months, whatever it was. And then when problems started arising, that's when we would start kind of like, you know, that's when I would start kind of noticing like, wait, maybe this isn't like my end game. Maybe this isn't like the right person for me. I don't like the way that you talked this way. I don't like the way that you treated my friend that way. I don't like the way that you handled this. Like, but I like you because XYZ. You know what? Does that make sense?
Sure.
Okay. So yeah, I guess like the reason that I would like get so obsessed is not the right fucking word. Attached. Like I like these people, the people that I talk to. I think it's just like I'm initially drawn to like the energy. I'm a big energy person because I give a lot of energy. I feel like I'm, you know, very outgoing, and like I try to stay positive and whatever. So when I meet someone that matches my energy, it's like, you catch my vibe. I like this.
Yeah, you give a lot of energy.
You. Yeah.
Like if you met someone who give the same energy, you could like power the grid with that shit. Like that's like a lot of fucking energy in one spot.
Yeah, right. But it's like I also need the handle with care bumper sticker. Like you need to know how to handle my emotions, right? So it's like even though I come with a lot of energy, I still need someone who can like understand the way that I am and like support that and like navigate that and like uplift me in a way that's comforting. And my biggest thing is communication too. Like if there's a guy that can communicate his feelings and be mature about situations, to me that's hot. Like, okay, you know how to talk and you aren't scared to like show how you feel. It just means that you want this with me, right? Because it's like we can get through this if you can talk to me about the way that you're feeling. Yeah.
Do you talk about the way you're feeling?
Yeah, I'm an open book. The fuck? Like, do I look like I don't talk about
You look like an open book. You seem like an open book.
Yeah, no, I talk about what I'm feeling. I mean, for sure, like, if there's a situation that I'm upset about, like, of course I'm going to say something. I'm going to be the first to, like, you know, be like, hey, can we talk about this? But, yeah, I don't know. I guess it just depends on the person. Bye.
Interesting. That's funny. What is the wildest thing you've ever done?
The wildest thing, go on a Netflix show called Temptation Island.
Prior to the show, what was the wildest thing you've ever done?
The wildest thing I've ever done, I mean, probably, like we had already talked about, moving out to California after meeting a guy for like online. I thought that. I think about that a lot. Like, obviously everything happens for a reason. And like, there was a reason that, you know, I'm where I am today. And I think like if that had not happened, like the way the butterfly effect to me is real. Like the friendships that I've made, the people that are in my life right now have connected because I'm out here because of that relationship.
Sure.
However, looking back on it, if I had a daughter and, you know, my parents were always kind of like, we trust you, like whatever makes you happy, do your own thing, but also concerned. But if I had a daughter and, you know, she was like, hey, mom, met this guy at Coachella, like he's saying I can move in with him, like I'm going to do it. I'd probably be like, the fuck you are, like going down there. So that was the craziest thing that I did, but also the biggest reward long term, I would say.
It's interesting because what you just described is like admitting that what you did was wrong. And yet,
I'm going to say it's admitting that I wouldn't advise it. But
would you stop your daughter?
Would I what?
Would you stop her?
No. It depends. Like, because like if my mom had stopped me, I don't know where I would have been because I would have stayed in Spokane. And like, I love my life out here right now. So I think because of that reason, I would not. Like, because my mom, you know, and my dad let me come down here and experience things on my own. And also I had like literally half of a semester of college left. Like I was like pretty much done. So it's like, you know, I think the only thing is like, and my parents had met my ex before I moved down. So they were comfortable with me moving down, right? So it's like, yeah, I probably would let my daughter do it if I had met the boy and the parents and like I knew that she was going to be in a safe environment. For sure. I just think, like, when you ask me what's the craziest thing that I've done, I think that's pretty crazy, you know?
It is pretty crazy.
Yeah, like, I don't think a lot of people can say that they, like, met someone and then, like, changed their whole life for them, you know, after a week. Like, it's a lot.
Yeah, I try to wrap my head around that idea and how somebody could come to the conclusion that that is okay to do.
Yeah.
Given the fact that if you had told me that this person ended up being, you know, the greatest relationship you had or somehow wasn't abusive to you, right? I would have said, oh, great decision.
Yeah.
But the fact that you left that relationship with so much trauma.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard because, like, I talked to my therapist about this, who is, like, a sexy little Hispanic lady, Gazal. I love her. She's, like, my girl. But she was kind of talking to me about like, if you could go back and never be in that relationship and like, you know, do things on your own, you know, like what do you have? And I thought about it and it's like, yeah, I like that definitely was a potential opportunity. However, I think like I said, everything happens for a reason. And that was a big learning lesson for me. Like I, learned a lot, not only about myself, but how I, you know, should be in like, in a relationship. And I guess just like the whole thing was a lot, but like I don't even think I'd be out in LA if I didn't, you know, date this guy. The only reason I moved to LA was because we broke up and I like wanted to get as far away as possible as I could from that negative energy. So yeah, I don't know.
How do you describe who do you describe as a gold digger? Like who
As
would
a
you
what?
consider gold digger?
A gold digger?
Yeah.
Probably anybody that does shit for money, right? Like, I don't know. Somebody who like dates people like for money, but like older men, cuz like you can't really if I like someone and they just happen to have money, then it's like.
What's the oldest you've dated?
The oldest that I've dated?
I guess what's the oldest that you dated?
I'm 20.
And what would be the oldest that you would date?
The oldest that I would date? I don't know, like even 30 kind of seems like it's pushing it, right? Like maybe 30.
So only like 6 years older than you.
Maybe like 31, 32. Like, I don't know.
So what's the oldest that you've dated?
That I've dated. The oldest that I've dated, it's kind of funny actually. Both of my exes were a year younger than me, and the one guy that I talked to after my second ex, was a year older than me, or actually I think he was 2 years older than me. But the oldest that I've talked to or dated is, are we talking like dated or like things? Like if I had
I don't know. You said something with regards to how some of the guys that you have met in LA are like in their 30s.
Yeah. I just mean like out, not like dated. But like guys that I've like met out at the club are in their 30s and they're single. I have like 5 names that just popped in my head just now saying that.
So then, okay.
Which no hate to those guys either. Like live your life.
You wouldn't date any of those guys, obviously.
Like it depends, because it's like, again, I go off connection. Like if I have a connection with someone and I really get along with them, in my head it's like age might just be a number, but at the same time,
so if you have a connection to a 50-year-old,
that's too old.
Okay.
That's
so it's
like
not just connections. There's like a line.
No, it's not just hard cutoff as a 24-year-old to me would be like early mid 30s. I think anything after that I can't do.
It's too much.
Too
old.
You know what I mean? That's
sure.
not like, I think like, yes, if there's a connection there and whatever, but like I also don't want to, get involved with someone who is that much older than me. Maybe it's a personal preference. I don't know. My parents are 8 years apart, or 6 or 8. I can't remember. So it's like, yeah, I've been around like relationships that are healthy and happy with an age gap. Mm-hmm. I just think like 10 to 20 years personally for me is a lot. But for other people, I have no judgment at all. Mm-hmm. Like as long as you're happy and you're content in the relationship that you're in, I love that. Like love.
What are your thoughts on random hookups?
Random like hookups? Just like one night stands? What are my thoughts? Like, I mean, it's a one night hookup. Like,
is it? Do you think it's okay? Do you think it's not okay?
I think one night stands are fine. Like, unless you have a girlfriend or something. Like, they're fun. I mean, yeah, I don't have a lot of thoughts on one night stands because I just think if it happens, it happens. And then, if you continue talking after that, like, great. If you continue hooking up after that, like, great.
Essentially, you have no problem like sleeping with a guy on a first date.
Okay, well, when you word it like that, then it sounds like a little tacky. But like,
no, I'm not wording it like anything.
No problem sleeping with a guy on a first date. Like, I mean, if it's someone that no, because I've done it before. But like, again, like, no. Okay, no. Like now I'm questioning it. Like, should I? I don't know. I mean, no.
Look,
I don't know.
My personal opinion is irrelevant in this situation. It's just whatever you think.
Sleeping with a guy on a first date, I mean, if the vibes are there and you're like enjoying each other's time, get intimate. I don't know, like,
right?
Yeah. No, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I guess when you word it like that, though, now I'm like overthinking it. Where I'm like, should I be saying something else? I don't know.
No, it's really up to you, like what you think of it. There's no, like I said, my opinion is irrelevant.
Nor deny.
That's funny. You're hilarious. That's a hard question. I have some questions, but obviously we'll have to skip these and then I'll ask them on our second podcast show.
Which, oh my God, I'm looking forward to that one. I can't wait. Like, cause like I'm watching it for the first time tomorrow. A lot of people are watching it tonight at midnight, but I think like my reaction is going to be, I'm excited. Like, I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen.
Do you know how many seasons there will be? I mean, sorry, how many episodes?
I have no idea. Like, okay. I have no idea. All I know is what they've came out with so far. So I'm assuming 10.
Sure.
Like maybe.
Right.
And then maybe like a couple extra ones in there.
Yeah.
I'm assuming they're going to be hour-long episodes. And like.
Well, what I'm wondering is whether or not the show is going to be out. Because Netflix has this thing where they put out like 5 episodes and then they wait a few weeks and then they put out another 5 episodes.
Yeah.
or are they going to put out all the 10 at once?
Yeah.
So I guess we'll find out later today.
I guess, yeah, we're going to, I don't know. We're going to have to find out, but I'm assuming that probably they might do that. Yeah.
Right.
Like,
so then once we do, we'll set up a date so then you could come back and
yes,
we'll talk about a bunch of other questions
that
I am excited to ask.
Yeah.
But
me too. That's gonna
for
be
the
fun.
time being, thanks for coming on the show. You were great.
Of course.
This was fun.
This was so fun.
We'll see you soon.
Yeah. I'm
See you guys later.
excited.